We at WION, of course, have been telling you about the Indian students studying in Ukraine amid all these tensions. And now for their perspective amid the recent developments, let's get you more. Dhwani Chauhan, a third-year medical student at the Kyiv Medical University of UAFM, is now live with us from Kyiv. Dhwani, thanks so much for joining us on WION. Even before I ask you about the situation on ground, I want to ask you about your safety and state of mind given today's developments. I'm sure your family back home must be worried.
Hello, ma'am. Yes, my family is a little bit worried about me, and all the parents are worried there. But right now, the agencies and the Indian embassy here told us to stay at home, and we are safe in the home right now. We are not allowed to travel outside, so we are all gathered together.
Right. Tell us about what happened in Kyiv. How's the situation on ground? Is there a fear at your university where you're studying? There must be plenty of foreign students like yourself. What lies ahead for all of you? Has the university given you any brief?
No, ma'am. Actually, university have not told us anything yet. We are just informed by our Indian embassy here. Because we have exam on in March, and they were saying that nothing will happen, you have to give the exam. So we even didn't book the ticket, we were here only. And all of a sudden today early in the morning, we heard the sound of the bombs and all. So everything got panicked, and we just get the information from the embassy that we have to stay in the home only.
Right. Dhwani, we of course sitting in India have been showing our viewers all these visuals of scary visuals of sirens blaring through Ukraine, especially after the explosions that were heard. I'm sure you and your classmates must be scared. Your families must be worried. They must be giving you frantic phone calls. Tell us what's going on in your mind right now.
Ma'am, it's just like the basic thing we are doing right now is like we're stocking up the grocery things so that if we have to stay at home for a while, so we don't face any crisis. Right. That's all we are doing here right now.
Right. You know, I understand that the Ukrainian president has imposed what is called a martial law. We also saw a lot of traffic on the streets in Kyiv, where you are currently. Tell us more about what's happening on the streets. What's the mood in Kyiv right now?
Ma'am, all the localites are rushing to the different cities, I guess, because I haven't seen this before, the kind of traffic. All are taking their luggage bags and going to the another city where still the Russian army haven't shown up.
Right. What I can tell you, Dhwani, is that there is a high-level meeting underway in New Delhi with the Indian Ministry of External Affairs. Have you personally had a word with your university or the Indian embassy officials about any kind of security measures or any kind of evacuation to get you home?
All the Indian students are trying for the evacuation, but we didn't get any information yet, ma'am.
Right. What about what's happening on the streets as of now? The martial law in Ukraine is being imposed. We've seen clogged roads with traffic in the Ukrainian capital. Tell us more about what's happening on the roads right now. What do you see outside?
Ma'am, all I just see is everyone is rushing, and they are stocking up the things for the grocery, I mean. And I see that the martial laws that government imposed, but they are not implemented yet, I guess.
Right. What about other foreign students like yourself in your class? They also must be afraid. We've seen visuals of students rushing to the airport. Are you all afraid of what's to come? Any contingency plans in place?
Ma'am, we are just packing up our bags so that if in case we have to leave, so if the evacuation is done by India, so just in case. But right now the airport is seized by the Russian army. So whosoever was at the airport have to go to the hotels right now.
Right. Dhwani, tell us a little bit more. Have you had a word with your family members? I'm sure they must be worried.
Yes, ma'am.
Have they tried to reach out to the Indian embassy as of now? Any updates on what's to come in the next few days? Any word with your teachers?
No, ma'am. Actually, from the university, there is no single information about this. And as such of Indian embassy, they are just saying one thing, that don't travel anywhere in the Ukraine and stay at home. There is no news regarding evacuation also.
Right, Dhwani, thank you so much for speaking to us on WION World is One. Thank you for all your inputs. We are wishing that you stay safe, stay indoors, and of course we know that there are people looking out for you. Let's now get you a little bit updated with what's happened earlier today in Ukraine. The updates coming in as of now that at least 7 casualties have been reported in Ukraine after the morning shelling. In the Ukrainian capital, we hear that subway stations have now turned into improvised bunkers. Witnesses have said that there are stations full of people carrying supplies. We just spoke to an Indian student who has been studying in Kyiv, and she says that there is a frantic rush to grocery stores as the president has imposed a martial law. People are rushing to grocery stores to get basic necessities, and students have been told, especially international students, have been told to stay indoors and wait for more updates coming in. All this, of course, comes after the Russian President Vladimir Putin announced a military operation in Ukraine early on Thursday. Ukraine's Interior Ministry said that Russia's invasion has begun. This after reports of troops crossing the border from multiple directions. Later, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky introduced martial law across the country, urging citizens to remain calm. WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.